Go to hell, LSU.
Said it's our year, baby.
I got all the information. Call me next week.
Yeah. All right, boys in the SIP. As always, we back. And we got a nice little show coming up. We're going to talk a little bit about our time at Georgia. We're going to talk about the predictions that are on fire. We're going to talk about Jimbo firing, Ole Miss as always, and a little bit more. But before we get started, y'all be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Boyz and the SIP as always. And that'll help us out. So we appreciate it. But we're going to get right into it. And we're going to just start off talking about this little fun little Georgia trip we went on to Athens. Everything was awesome besides, the turnout. But when it comes to people in the SIP, I mean, it's all about having a good time. And
I said, I hope we're back in that position next year.
Yeah, me too.
That was awesome.
It was so awesome.
It was fun, man.
Me and some buddies, our buddy Pop got us a nice little private jet, and we woke up early Saturday morning and went to Greenwood, and all of us got on the plane. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. There ain't nothing like getting on a
flying
private, getting on a jet in just 1 hour. We were going 588 miles per hour. We had a little tailwind. Our pilot was cool, and man, we got on that plane and we started. We said, all right, let's go.
Get it on.
Let's put one together, and we flew right to Athens. Got there, and you went early, right?
I went the night before with my wife. We flew up to Atlanta and stayed at Atlanta.
Yeah, you and Rose flew. It was anniversary.
Anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Rose. Rose. I don't know how you put up with him, but I congratulate you. But so they went over.
I love you, baby.
Always. They went over to Atlanta early, and they took a Uber to Athens on Saturday. So we get to Athens, and first time I've ever been to Athens. I mean, and cool little town.
Yeah, it is.
I was surprised. I mean, kind of dirty.
Yeah.
I mean, it had been raining and stuff, but it wasn't like, I don't know. I guess it's your average bar. I'm used to Funky's because the league keeps it so perfect.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of bars in Athens, man.
Yeah, and but we get there, and man, people, it's crazy, and they're downtown. There's like 88 bars. Is that what they say?
Right.
It's right by the stadium. It's right. I mean,
all the frat houses are right there.
Yeah.
They had the beer out in the front yard. It was rocking.
We had a younger buddy with us, and he's like, I said, "Where'd you go?" He said, "I went to the I don't know, Fidel or something. I don't know where it went. But one of the fraternity, I was like,
there in the front yard.
When did you take a cab?" I said, "No, I guess they just walked." So I was like, "Oh, so it's all right there." But anyway, we had a good time, just kind of bar hopping, and the Georgia fans were, man, they were fun.
So cool, dude.
So cool. And I mean, a couple of them barking at you and stuff.
Yeah, it was funny though.
Yeah, but
it was nothing like LSU.
No,
it wasn't super hostile in the sense that they were trying to fight and all that. Everybody was inviting you in everywhere. You had a little episode.
I'm gonna tell my little episode was, like I said, we had a blast. I mean, we were talking with them, everything. Like I was like, man, they're cool, And we get to the game, and we had good seats, and I'm walking, and our seat, we had chairback, so obviously we had somebody's season tickets or something, Georgia, but there was 3 people standing up in our row, and we could see our 4 right beside them, and then the bleachers, and 2 Georgia fans, an older guy, I don't know, he's probably around 48, 45. So I step on the bleacher to get around to get to my seat. And he turns around and he looks at me and he goes, "You gonna step on my seat?" And I kind of like, "Man, I'm sorry, man." He's like, You just going to step on my seat like that? And I was like, dude, you want me to wipe it off for you? I'm sorry. And he kind of just looks at me. And I was like, man, I said, I've been here for about 4 hours now. I said, the Georgia fans have been great. I said, I finally met a dickhead. And his eyes got about that big. He said, what'd you say? And he starts kind of coming at me, and my buddies grabbed me, and I was like, oh, man, here we go. We're not even going to be able to watch the game.
Yeah.
And we kind of stopped, and then we get the ball and drive it right down their throat, and I'm going crazy. I'm like, welcome to the SIP, baby. Kiffin plays chess. Kirby plays checkers. I mean, I'm just screaming, yelling, and
it didn't take long to sit your ass back down.
It didn't take long to shut me up, but that was kind of how the game started with me, and but man, I had a blast. But getting to the game.
Well, with it being on Veterans Day, dude, it was so cool, man. Like all the halftime stuff, it was awesome. I forgot the game was even going on.
Look,
and we were getting killed. All those. I mean,
it was so loud.
I mean, I damn near in tears the whole time.
It was. I said I've never been to Texas A&M, but it was the loudest I've ever been in.
You want to know what I noticed? The reason I think it's as loud as it is. That's the best announcer I've ever heard.
Oh, my gosh.
The dude, he's just right in tune with the game. And he's like, boom, boom, boom. He never stops talking. It's like,
third
down. You're like, holy hell, dude, you can't sit down.
Look,
it's like you go, in our game, it's lags. There's lags. This guy was like, he carries about a 2-yard gain, and it spots it up around the 35. It's, 3rd and 2 coming up. I mean, he is play-by-play, man.
Third down. I'm like, how can he? I'm like waiting for him to stop.
No.
And it goes. He does cut it off right, before we snap. But, I mean, it was so loud. They don't sit down. That's what I've been telling. I've said it a million times. They don't sit down. If they sit down, it is when they have the ball, maybe, after first down, and they want to take just a quick. But besides that, and they don't leave.
No.
We'll say they don't sell alcohol at the games.
Which I didn't know that.
I didn't know either.
I was glad the next day.
Yeah, but I mean that keeps I guess the stadium is not set up to have like what I saw.
Yeah,
I mean it's so like you can't.
There was not that many areas. Like if you were selling alcohol, you'd be in line for an hour.
And they don't want their fans going and doing that. They probably got enough money that says, hey.
Hey, to watch football.
You got 88 bars out there, do what you do. And when you come here, it's football and get loud.
Yeah, I mean, I know it was raining, so it's kind of hard to see colors is good, but I didn't see any of, all I saw was red. Sea of red. I did see a lot of Ole Miss fans, just 1-2 here, there. Mm-hmm. Some sick ass gear, some old school Ole Miss gear. You knew the real Rebels were the ones there. Mm-mm. But dude, they were packed, man.
It was packed.
You knew early the vibe. I was like, oh my gosh, all those seniors. You could just feel it, man.
And that stadium's designed, to me, it doesn't look like it holds 92,000, 94,000.
Yeah.
Because it's right on top of you. It's not
kind of
like
a bowl. Sits down in a bowl.
Like a bowl. It's not LSU, Alabama. I mean, you go
towers over you.
Yes, way up there and straight up. This is just like right on top of you. So it was quite an experience, and that that's the kind of thing that's such an advantage, man.
It is
huge. I mean, I looked at Pop and said, whenever Georgia plays at night again at home, I'm taking them.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't care, because that's a 10, 14-point advantage.
I'm telling you, I talked about that earlier this year. We talked about it. I said, man, home field at night is becoming a huge factor with all these new stadiums holding all these people, and the alcohol factor.
Yeah.
Students can drink. It's gotten hectic. Even Ole Miss, like we're doing awesome at home lately, which is historically not even really mattered. But, man, like you said, you get up in there, man, that was crazy.
With all the electronics and the lights and the sound. And
we had false start first play of the game.
First play. I'm like, here we go, But, getting to the game, it's, we start out, boom, but then Georgia gets the ball and it was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Because that was easy.
They just came too easy.
Yeah.
Because A&M was kind of the same way in the game, and then we kind of see that way that first quarter started.
Mm-hmm.
Being at both of those games, I was just sitting there I was like, man, we're done. And it's not that we weren't playing hard, or we're not any good. I was just like, they're the number one team.
Yeah,
I see it now.
They were bigger.
The quarterback's just faster, standing back there,
and it's like you said. It was like as soon as we saw that, I felt like we should have switched gears and just thrown everything we could throw at them.
Yeah.
And I felt like we were trying to the game plan that he had was he was trying to kind of stay into that, and we
slow marched it, which I think worked against us, like you said. And then, like we talked about it earlier, I feel like a better way to upset the number one or two, or like a team where you go in the game and you're like, okay, they're better. We got to do some out-of-the-box stuff here.
Yeah.
I think when you're like 9, 10, 7, 8, like we are, you kind of go in saying, okay, I think we're as good as them, and we just went in with our normal plan, and we slow marched, and then I think we thought we could do that. Next thing you know, we punt twice, and we're down 2 scores.
Yeah.
And then we couldn't wrap our mind around we need to throw the ball every play.
Yeah.
Like maybe dip a run in there, here and there, after we have a long throw when we're going fast. But it was obvious. Obviously, our offensive line, we had a few issues.
Yeah.
People getting hurt. He's not going to use it as an excuse. But, I mean, you saw it. We went down first play. We were already having issues. I mean, so that probably affected our play calling.
Yeah.
Because we never really opened up. And then, like you said, was Trey Harris even there? They had the plan. They were locking him down off the line of scrimmage, doubling him.
Yeah.
They just knew what to take away from us. And then with our line being down, I mean, I don't even know that we could have sat back there and thrown the whole game. If we did, Dart would have probably got hurt.
Yeah. Well, he did get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another thing. That guy, I know how tough he is, and that just shows you how much he wants to win. But they need to be like, look, we know you're tough. We're down, 28, and you tried to run over the biggest guy on the field.
Yeah. Well, that's the hardest thing, too, about playing Alabama and Georgia to me is they'll punish you physically to where you'll have guys hurt the next week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impossible to get out of the game with them and not get anybody hurt. When they play each other, a couple guys get hurt. I mean, it's so physical, man.
Yeah.
They had a couple guys go down. I mean, it's just that heavy-hitting football like that. But we can't afford to lose certain people like they can.
Don't have the
Even they came out, their coaches like, I just put a couple guys in right behind them. It's like they shocked him how good they were.
Yeah.
You don't even tell they're subbing.
they just got, so much more depth than we do.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't, like I said, can't get down. We went in there, and we just got outmanned, and they're that good. And but we got 2 more regular season games and a long way to go. We got to finish what we started. I promise you, everybody, yes, we want to win a national championship. Yeah, of course, everybody does. We know how hard that is. And, we can keep Lane, and then we're going to get to that here in a little bit, and he builds the program that he can build, we'll have a chance, especially with the 12-team playoff. We might have a look. But what you want is somebody that comes in, can win 10 games, get to a good bowl, and have a fun year.
Unbelievable that we were in that position.
Yeah.
As Ole Miss fans. I mean, geez, dude, 2 out of 3 years we're right there.
I mean, we've been on game day. Have we made game day every year since?
I think so.
I mean, I feel like we've been on, which we were at Athens, but I know they've come to Oxford, twice.
I think we did it his first year because it was like when we played Bama, didn't they? Wasn't it?
I think
remember.
so. Yeah.
Because it was like you're saving Kiffin, it was a big deal.
I think so. I have to look it up.
Was that Get Your Popcorn Ready year? Or was that the second year where you said Get Your Popcorn Ready and we got killed?
I don't know. They interviewed him on game day.
But like you said, we got to stay positive as a fan base. Understand, no shame in losing to Georgia there.
Yeah.
This is clearly not the year they're going down to a lower seed. I mean, everybody had a shot at them.
Yeah.
I mean, them and that Alabama-Georgia game is going to be a damn war.
Yeah.
I mean, you got some great games setting up down the stretch with the big teams to see who's going to go in the playoff, and it's just going to play itself right out.
Yeah, and they said it. Kirby even said it was the best game they played all year.
Yeah.
And teams that are and they got Bowers back, and
it's the first time all year they had their whole offense.
Yeah, they got two. Who was the other guy that came back? There was two guys that came back with Bowers, obviously, and so they had everybody. Everybody was pretty much healthy, and at home at night. So
and that quarterback's good.
Yes, he's good.
He is.
But I mean, I could have thrown to those receivers. Yeah, I mean, they were wide open.
No
man.
doubt.
They were wide open, and he did not get touched.
Yeah,
he never got touched the whole football game. He said it. He said it after the game when they interviewed him.
And we're up there in sacks too. That's one of our stats on defense that we're good at.
You never get touched. He said, I got a little bit of grass stains on my pants, but that's because I slid. That was it. I mean, I was like, wow, how you like to play a whole football game? Never get touched and throw to those. I mean, they were wide open. That across the middle, and it was obviously, like I said, we can talk about it, but they were just better.
Yeah.
So time to move.
We need to finish strong, get those extra practices in, go to a good, big New Year's Six Bowl, which we're clearly in the third spot in the SEC. We're in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Nobody's ahead of us. LSU and Tennessee can't pass us.
And we have, UNL Monroe, Mississippi State.
Yeah. So, and, I mean, I don't think this is a year State can even pull anything crazy against us.
No, as long as we're as darts okay and we're halfway healthy.
They need to go show some character, finish strong, beat these teams up pretty good and, get into a good game, and then we need to go win this time.
Yeah.
Corral went down, we need to go cap it off.
Yeah, that's fun.
Because we got a lot of these guys back, man.
I mean, we're going to try to go. Everybody wants to, that is fun.
Hell
right
yeah.
there. Everybody get up for that ball game and go and support.
Because in the future, that's the playoff.
Yeah.
So this is confidence. We take it into next year.
That's
got
right.
to keep building. It's no different than any of these other programs.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere. You get into the big game. Now we got to win the big game.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, it kind of leads me into let's talk about Coach and what's going on. First of all, we called it. I said last week when Show Dog asked us, how y'all, how can I get a job paying $100 million and win 6-7 games? And I go, Jimbo wakes up in the morning and goes, how can I get fired today and make $76 million? And boom, here comes this week.
She gone.
Gone. He goes and kills Mississippi State, and they're like, they're going to pay him $77 million to fire him.
To leave.
I'd be give me my money, but I'd be going, man, they just paid me $77 million to leave. I must be bad.
Yeah. And what's so funny is I never heard one person talk about how that was a good contract when they signed him.
Who came up with that?
Nobody. Not even idiots on ESPN and Fox and every show known to man was like, oh, this is a great hire. They were like, we had to get him because we were scared he was going to go to LSU. It's like, what were they doing?
How could they, make that buyout so big? I posted it yesterday.
They were convinced he was the guy.
How?
And obviously his agent knows that he wasn't. It was like the Orgeron buyout.
Yeah.
His agent knew he was on the tightest leash ever.
Yeah.
No matter what the coach thought and how much he loved them and they loved him and whatever, It's like his whole contract was a buyout. Did you see that? I mean, you remember that? Obviously, it wasn't this much money.
No,
what was the one on the list? What was he on the list?
But see, they didn't have him on that list. I think they might have left him off. I don't know where. I saw it and just, screenshot it. So because Bryce was saying, hey, what about Ogeron? And that, because I remember, I think his was like $32 million.
Yeah.
Because I remember him going, where do I sign and where's the door? Give him my $32 million or whatever it was. We'll look that up and
that's
see.
not good for us. I wish he'd have stayed there for forever. Because like you said, now we got to freaking fight this shit again.
Here we go.
I can't go through it every year.
It's like did he come out and say something? Like I haven't looked to see if Kiffin came out and said.
I hadn't.
But I was talking
either.
to somebody, and I thought they did say,
I think the Oregon coaches come out and said he's staying, and I heard that's who they wanted.
Yeah,
because he's Kirby stable. So now you got him. They got all Saban's guys. Yeah. Now he's back to can barely get an assistant. Now they're after Kirby's guys because they want to know how he did it.
Yeah.
And Lanning's one of them. But he's going to stay at Oregon.
Yeah.
I mean, Oregon's a good job. But
I agree.
I could see Kiffin going to Oregon or A&M.
He posts the picture of his son in the Oregon football uniform. His son Knox went to recruiting type, I guess, deal they do for kids or something. I don't know, in Oregon. And he posted a picture and, at Oregon Ducks. He's got the little emoji with the – and then, of course, that blows up. Okay, what's he doing?
I mean, just what we talk about that we feel with Kiffin.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't know exactly because we don't.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does.
But his interviews and his point nipping at the crowd, think about the back-to-back weeks. We're at A&M.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in the middle of our home section, and we're begging people to stand up in the fourth quarter in that tight game.
Yep.
It's hot, whatever, man.
Yeah.
It's pouring down raining, or it wasn't pouring, but it was raining in Athens.
No.
And so he has to hear that and then hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to get under his skin.
No, I know, and that's what I can't say it enough.
And then not to mention the level of talent. It's easier to get at certain schools than Ole Miss.
Yeah.
He had to go prove himself at Ole Miss for us to even get some players.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different now. Freeze was a great recruiter. And the way that class fell into place, a lot of people don't know. I mean, those guys were friends. They recruited each other. It was just, we got lucky on a lot of that. Kim Deechee's brother, we had some assistants. You remember all that? It was just kind of we got lucky in a lot of ways. But, I mean, I get nervous, man.
I know. I wish.
Because I know he wants to win.
Yeah.
And he's a genius.
Yeah.
So he wants to show what he can do. So he needs the players. He don't want to get embarrassed like that. He got embarrassed because of players, not because of coaching.
Yeah.
And it's not that our players aren't good. We just played an NFL team, like Eli said.
Yeah.
That's an NFL team.
No doubt. And I know that's what he wants. He's just, I mean, at some point, you've got to pick and say, okay, this is. This guy's been all over. I don't know how many jobs he's had.
Yeah.
And
my gut tells me he's just gonna stay. Because, like we talked about, why didn't he leave a couple years ago? I just feel like maybe he is gonna ride it out.
I mean, because you can't. It takes time to build something.
Yeah, and we've built it, man.
Yeah,
we're looking at a New Year's Six Bowl 2 out of 3 years if we win the next 2 games.
His third year, and we've had success every year. It's like, okay, Texas A&M, Oregon. He's got to go start all over.
Yeah,
got to start all over, and it's not going to.
And A&M's like, why did they get mentioned like it's a good job?
I know. Now you got Texas coming in the SEC.
It's not a good job. It's like the Arkansas job. They've never been good.
No, Johnny Manziel was it.
Yeah, it's a brutal job. Auburn's that way. I mean, it's a hard place to go coach. Like, they'll dump you in no time. LSU's kind of that way. The only difference between LSU is they always got good players.
Yeah.
Because they get everybody from New Orleans and Baton Rouge, and they just pick the litter. And
they don't have any competition.
That's right. And they've just always had talent. But they've still, like, never been consistently great. LSU hadn't. So I don't even know how good of a job that is. Kelly ain't going to last long. He's no different than Jimbo.
No.
He's dinosaur town. They're going to run him out the next 3. Look, I mean, he ain't done anything.
Yeah.
They beat Alabama last year and get them nothing. Just like Freeze at Ole Miss.
Look, it's all a money and recruiting thing and getting them to the school. That's the bottom line. If you can get them there, I don't know how you can do it, but I mean, it's hard to probably get them. How hard do you think it is to get them to come to Texas A&M when you got Texas that's going to be in the SEC?
We talked about it,
You
man.
know, you got all those schools, you know, so, I mean, I hate, you know, Mississippi being that we got 2 SEC schools in Mississippi.
In our little state.
Yeah. I don't
People
when
don't
it
understand.
started.
I mean, that's brutal on us.
Yeah.
That's why we're not great. You can't be. You know, it's not like Alabama. Okay, they have 2. So you'd be like, well, what about them? Well, dude, they got Bear Bryant. They're the most known program in, like, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Like, people go there because it's
of the name.
Alabama.
That's right.
It's a whole different animal. I know Ole Miss was a great back-in-the-day program. LSU, Ole Miss, always fighting for the Sugar Bowl back in the day. You know, Coach Vaught and all that. You know, mad respect. My granddad's era. You know, we had some teams, but, I mean, dude, Alabama is the Mecca.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like it's just Notre Dame, same way. If they get halfway decent, they're always going to get some people go there.
Yeah.
You know?
Now Georgia's
That's right.
become
They're the
which
new.
they've been there, but now they're, you know,
They're like Florida's been a few times.
Yeah.
You know, like Spurrier run. Then they had the Meyer run. But overall consistent, they're nowhere, like, can't even mention them with Alabama.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
So the SEC, there's Alabama and there's everybody else.
Yeah.
Even Tennessee had their run, but they're gone. So why can't you? There's room for it to be a new guy.
Yeah.
And it's all about the coach, man.
Yeah.
You got to get young, smart guys. You can't get these old school guys anymore, man. They're not going to win anymore. They're not going to outsmart these dudes.
Yeah. I agree. And that's why I hope in his mind, he's like, you know, I'm making enough money. I mean, come on. Mm-hmm. You know, it
can't be about money to him.
It can't be about money because he's making enough. And if he wants a little more, I'm sure we'll give it to him. And it's like, okay, I'm going to build my legacy right here. Mm-hmm. You know, instead of going and trying, I mean, he goes to Texas A&M and doesn't succeed. But, hey, they'll pay $77 million to fire your ass.
The only question is in his mind, is he telling himself, can I actually succeed here?
Yeah.
You know, think about it.
But can he at Texas A&M?
No.
I mean,
no. That's why I'm not even worried about that.
Yeah.
He's no way. I know you've trolled. I mean, we kind of thought about it.
Yeah.
There's no way, man.
Yeah.
They're done. They're a joke. I mean, I wish we could still make fun of them with Jimbo there, but you know, they may get a coach and may end up doing something, but I just don't see it.
I don't either. The
question is can he build it at Ole Miss? Are we going to give him what he needs? Are we going to keep getting the players? Are the fans going to crank it up? Are we going to keep cranking the stadium up? We're going to keep adding the facilities. We're going to get in the NIL mix. What are we going to get in the mix?
Yeah.
Because now you got Texas. They're the richest school there is.
Yeah.
Their endowment fund will just go buy anybody. Like it's endless.
We just got to show him that.
And Oklahoma is like Alabama. Now that's history right there. Like they win.
Yeah.
It's like, come to Alabama, we win. We put you in the league. Come to Oklahoma, we win. We put you in the league. You know, Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia. I mean, there you go. Can we get there?
I mean, that would be the only job if it was Alabama, Oklahoma, Texas. I mean, I don't Notre Dame, but I mean, I don't.
He's not.
Yeah,
that's not him.
That's not him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that would be the only ones that I would, because he's already been to USC, he's already been to Tennessee,
which makes me think he doesn't care about coaching at another Mecca type school. Like USC is like Alabama and Notre Dame of the West Coast, even though they've fallen off lately. But I mean, think about all the way up to the Reggie Bush teams and stuff. Man, they were sick.
Oh, they were so sick.
Yeah,
it was.
They had some of the best teams ever.
That was the team when we were growing up.
Mm-hmm. So he coached there, and then Tennessee has had the biggest stadium for 30 years.
Yep.
History, SEC,
So what we're saying, Coach, just stay.
Just stay.
I mean, it's going to be hard. Anywhere you go, we're going to get you what you need. Mm-hmm. I promise you. And the fans, God, I can't say it enough, man. Let's get going, man. Get loud. Quit sitting down. I swear when I start going to these games, you're sitting down, I'm going to start yelling.
It's awful.
I'm going to start calling it out.
A&M was we didn't get to talk about it. We left it out. But I wanted to. We talked about it at the game, how we're going to go crazy on the podcast. I mean, it was a joke.
The students left after halftime.
Absolute
after halftime
joke.
When we forgot to talk about it. The Texas A&M game, half the students were gone.
Yeah.
Half the students were gone.
We just stand up on third down.
Just
like,
stand
what
up.
about the other two downs, man?
You can't hear yourself the whole game at Georgia, at LSU, at Alabama. I mean, it is loud, and that is such an advantage.
It's huge.
It's huge. So, man, just if you're at the game, just stand up and yell. If you want to sit down, sit down. When they have the ball, when we have the ball and, second down, something like that, where we're trying to be quiet.
Yeah.
Sit down for a second right then. But if they have the ball, all right, you're standing up and you're yelling because it affects everything.
Yeah. And if you want to see how it's done, you don't have to go to Georgia. Go take your ass to the Egg Bowl in a couple weeks.
Yep.
They might even be playing for a bowl. They don't have a coach. They're not even any good half the damn time. They don't sit down, dude.
Nope. And then those cowbells.
It's crazy in there.
I still don't see how they get away with those cowbells.
I don't either.
But it's loud. And, even Saban said it, and it's such an advantage. We keep talking about it, and we're going to keep talking about it.
That's got a sting to hear, to Ole Miss fans and coming from a Rebel. But that's the truth.
It's the truth.
I can't go in that stadium. Last time I went in there, I was like, holy cow, man, I can't come in here.
Yeah. And the students, they've been great, but that was embarrassing. Them leaving
I hope
halftime.
State gets a good coach. I'm ready to see who they get.
Yep.
It's time to get Mississippi back rolling. They caught a bad break with Leach. He was awesome, man.
Yeah.
They were getting ready to go on a little run, I think, with him, man.
I agree.
He's great.
Who do you think they're looking at?
I don't know. I don't really think they have maybe anybody specific yet in mind. Maybe they did when they just went ahead and got rid of him, though. I like how they just cut the cord. No offense to the coach. He was put in a bad spot. They could have Matt Luked it like us and done 2-year run and, just kind of let it fizzle. But they're just going ahead and moving on. I like
think
it.
You got to.
Got to.
It's like, this isn't going to be successful. Let's just go ahead and nip this in the butt and let's start looking for a coach because that's what it takes. You got to have a good coach.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you might as well hang it up. And you better be able to fork it over because these contracts are getting stupid.
They are.
They're stupid. I was talking to Zeb. I was like, how much does the best brain surgeon or heart surgeon make a year? And I was like, do they make $9 million, $10 million? Like, no. I'm like, we got head football college coaches making $7 to $10 million a year.
Yeah. We don't even know when to use a timeout in the first half of a game.
Yeah. It's crazy. So, but, I hope Lane is I feel like he's happy where he is. I feel like his family is, So I just wish he'd come out and say it. Just for us, give everybody that just don't do what happened. You know, just come out. Yeah. I am a rebel. I'm staying here. I'm fixing to build y'all a program. Y'all just give me what I want, and I will do everything in my power to get you a national championship. Yeah. And then you got the security. You know, it's not like you said, you go somewhere else. Hey, he might be fired in 4 years. You know, and then, you know, whatever. I don't know.
Exactly. I mean, he's secure here, man.
Yeah.
Especially if he came out and said something like that.
Yeah.
You got Keith Carter. I mean,
you can't, he's 100% secure because it's not that many people out there that are that good. I mean, I always said it, and I'll probably catch backlash, but we should have never fired Freeze.
No.
I mean, because he was our guy. He was our guy, would have been here. He wasn't going anywhere, and he would have been successful.
Correct.
You know, whatever happened, whatever, you know, we can get better. He can get better and move on. He's a head football coach, and that's what he does. Any personal things, whatever. We all make mistakes. Mm-hmm. Every single person. And for some of
he loved Ole Miss and Mississippi, man.
No doubt.
Like it was just his heart and soul.
No doubt. And we got trouble, man. That guy, I mean, I promise you, they're going to be in the mix, and it's not going to take long.
No, dude. That's not who you want to be coaching against.
No, man. I promise you, that guy is one of the best.
Auburn finally got a guy.
Yeah. I mean, to take what he's doing this year with the talent they have, and he's still keeping them motivated, and they're looking like they're going to get 7 wins. I mean, that's pretty strong, you know, and get to a bowl game with that team, with that talent, you know, and you just wait. And then I'm just saying this because we should have had him until it should have been a Saban.
Yeah.
You know, our Saban.
It was.
But now, it happened.
He earned that right.
100%. But, okay, that's over with. Now we got Kiffin, and Kiffin, I want him to be our Saban, and he can be. And it's like, in his head, it's like, okay.
It was almost like when we got him, I was like, how in the hell did we just get him?
Yeah.
Like, why is he coming here? I was just thinking he was coming here to stepping stone because of his history.
Yeah.
But now the more and more time goes on, you start to wonder maybe this is what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And he's probably not going to come out and say it yet because, like we kind of talked about earlier, I think he wants to make sure that the school's all in.
Yeah.
And that the fans are all in.
Yeah.
You know, before he sticks his neck out there, because his reputation's fine. He's a football mastermind. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
You know, but what is his legacy going to be?
Well, I hope it's at Ole Miss with a national title.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I think it can be, especially with a 12-team playoff. He can get us there.
I feel like if Georgia can do it, we can do it, man.
Yeah. I agree.
And no offense to Georgia. That's just proof that, you know, you can get over the hump and not be Alabama.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, look at how many have won 1 or 2. You got Auburn did it, LSU did it. Here we go. So, I mean, why can't it be us?
Well, it can be. Well, that's a little talk about Kiffin in the Georgia game, but we're fixing to get into a little gambling and a little predictions because the SIP boys, they on fire.
We done got hot.
Look, and we've told y'all, on several different podcasts, we like to gamble. And we try to do it, the right way most of the time. And we're not trying to tell, any viewers or whatever to go out and gamble. But if you're going to, because it's part of the sporting world now.
Yeah.
You can't watch a game. You can't watch ESPN, anything without seeing odds, without even the announcers now talking about it.
You go up in professional sports arenas now, you get the iPad out, they got the sports book in there.
Yeah.
Go to the Grizzlies game, you bet right there in the game.
Yeah. So, people realize that it's just part of it. You know, if you don't like gambling, then turn this part of the show off. But, you know, we're going to try, as always, to give our predictions and do the best we can. So our followers, you know, that like to bet on the game or something, you know, we're going to try to help them.
No
and
doubt.
if you've been paying attention to our college football, we're 19-2. 19-2. I have not lost my prediction since we started. Now, my predictions are different. I've said it. They're different. I got my own system. You need to have a system any time you're betting or gambling. If you don't have a system, you might as well just stop.
Correct.
But
and your system is the correct system.
Well,
you know,
I mean,
I'm not saying yours, Rodney's.
Yeah,
I'm saying whatever you come up with.
Gotcha.
You know,
yes,
100%. You gotta. We've always talked about it. Quit. Don't try to do somebody else's. You know, kind of come up with your own feel off of what you learn off people that you like.
Yeah, and if you don't have a clue, then just find somebody, hopefully us, and follow it.
Yep.
Or if you know you just want to bet on your favorite team, then just bet a little bit on the favorite team and go with it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try our best to help our followers win some money. You know,
Hell yeah.
I mean, 19-2, you can win a lot of money. You know, and go buy you some Christmas presents.
Mm-hmm.
So hope the kids have a good Christmas this year.
Mm-hmm.
Wee Wee last week, he did a prediction video, but we're going to change that up. We couldn't get it to download. He did it by himself. He's trying to download it to the Dropbox. We couldn't hardly, me and Travis were like, it's not in the Dropbox. He's like, I swear it's in the Dropbox. And we're like, dude, it's not in there. We're looking. And anyway, so it didn't get posted. It was great, his analysis, but his picks got posted. He went 4-0. He had Utah +9 over USC. Utah was covering the whole game. And that was a winner. And then he had Auburn +2 over Arkansas, blowout, winner, easy. Texas A&M -17.5 over Mississippi State. Texas A&M blowout, easy winner. Oklahoma -11.5, and they were
West Virginia.
playing West Virginia blowout. 4-0, easy. I mean, that's hard to do, man.
Yeah.
Especially every one of them were easy.
Yeah.
You know, and I went my route, and I went on there, and I like to try. And like I said, it's not always going to be this way, but if I see it where I look at something and I'm like, I think that's pretty easy money.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, the first thing I did, I went, okay, I said, Alabama's going to beat Kentucky, 100%. All right. Then I said, Florida State is going to beat Miami. All right. Knew that. So I was like, I need to find two more because that 4 team would have come back more, maybe a little plus money. So I did. I put Georgia, and then before I put my prediction out, you know, I'm trying to do the parlay calculator odds.
Yeah.
And then I said Oregon's going to beat USC. So I put those 4 in. And it came back plus like 110. I was like, that's it. I was like, man, I can't put Georgia. I can't do it.
There.
I like my fans, but I made a promise. So y'all, that if I have to go against us on something like that in the future, for money wise, you can't bet with your heart.
No.
I mean, we get to Georgia, of course, I bet on Ole Miss and myself, not with my prediction. Of course, just, you know, I bet that's one of the first times this year I really bet with my heart.
Yep.
And
me too.
And just because I was there, but then I started thinking, and I was like, man, I was gonna be just as happy if we won.
No
you
doubt.
know?
No
like,
doubt.
I was like, it's so stupid.
No
But
amount of money we could have won would have
no.
topped the happiness of upsetting.
But anyway, so my prediction, I went Alabama money line, I went Florida State money line, and I went Oregon money line. All they had to do is all 3 of those teams had to win. If you bet $100, it came back $60. Now, some people might be like, well, dang, I don't want to risk 100 to win 60. I mean, $60 for every 100. I mean, if you bet 10,000, that's $6,000.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but still, for somebody that just wants to bet 100, that's still $60.
Yeah, think about if you're a $50 bettor and through Saturday through Sunday, just say you bet 5 games each day, you bet 10 games.
Yeah.
That's $600 you risked.
Yeah, that's right.
And so if you're the best pick service in the world, you win a unit or two, you win $70 versus you go throw everything you were going to risk on your parlay.
Yep.
And you come out and win $380 for the weekend.
That's right. Boom. And you get Alabama, and you get Oregon, and you get Florida State.
Yeah.
Like, okay, they beat me.
Correct.
So I thought it was.
I love the philosophy.
I love it's a good one. I don't, this week I don't see that opportunity there. This week's
weird.
This is the worst.
I'm not gonna have a 4-pack this week. It's gonna be my first week I limit down, but I will still go with the pair, and I'll give it the picks on the podcast today.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do prediction show this week.
Well,
and I'll do one next week though for Thanksgiving.
I mean, I've looked at the card, and it's just a
brutal.
bunch of crazy games, a bunch of high spreads, and so I haven't come up with anything yet. I will get there. I mean, if you want to go ahead and talk about what you like, go ahead. But I want you to be I want you to be all in on it.
Yeah.
Not just because if you feel strong right now, you go with it.
Yeah.
But those extra days help.
Yeah. Well, the thing I'm going to go ahead and give them because they're moving.
Gotcha.
And they're moving my way, which
Yeah.
makes me like them more.
Mm-hmm.
So, I usually like to do in pairs, mainly 4. And the reason I do that is, okay, so say you're going to do an odd number, right?
Yeah.
Most people are like, I'm going to pick 3 games and try to go 2-1, right? That's so typical of a bettor, thinking they're going to go 2-1. You ain't going 2-1. You're not betting 67% consistently. Or you would be the best.
It's harder to go 2-1.
Correct. Yeah. But 50-50 is where everybody always lands. It's just go flip a coin. Go pick 2 games and flip a coin. Odds are you're going 50-50, 50-50, 50-50. So if you're betting 4 games, the difference between 3-1 and 2-1 is only 7%. So versus 17% between 67 and 50.
Yeah.
Right? So it's way easier to go 3-1 than people think. And odds are you're always going to land 2-2, 2-2, which is a break even.
Yeah, well,
right?
Juice. Minus
yeah,
the
you
juice.
lose a little juice. Lose a little juice. And then you always notice, too, I always have one of my 4 picks at a later time slot. It's always after the fact. So if I'm 3-0, because I'm always doing the 4-game wheel where I get to the last game, and I'm always buying points in the parlays or taking the money line instead of the -6 or, whatever I do. But it's a money management thing. People don't understand it's damn near impossible to pick over 60%, right?
Yeah.
So, the 4 makes it to where if you win 3-1, you win 2 units.
Yeah.
So you see what I mean? Instead of 2-1, you win 0.9.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do to set myself where I keep it consistent in that, if I got to like it enough to put it in my 4. And if I don't have 4 enough, I won't settle and bet 3 like this week. I back all the way down to 2. Every now and then I'll do 1 and slug it like you do. But I think I did it second week of the year this year. I took Florida against Tennessee at home. Only pick I took all week.
Yeah.
Because, early in college, you kind of let it flow, which is why we didn't give a lot of stuff out here. This is the prime time, the last couple months. But
this is the time, it's the hardest time of the year.
This is when you get killed.
Yep.
You get killed. We always had a saying, the bookies wait for October 1st.
Yeah.
Everybody wins. They don't have the lines right. They're betting the favorites and the overs. They give away a little bit. Everybody's running and gunning, and then October hits, and they just start fooling you. You start just falling for every trick they throw out there. But that's when we start picking up on it, and so that's you
right.
hear my strategy in my prediction show. I'm always looking for certain numbers draw my attention, and then I work from there. I always go look at what the game's going to be and build my own line before the lines come out.
Yep.
And then I see the differences. I get my group of teams. We talk about the group of teams thing.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Yes.
We learned that when we used to, bet for the big boy.
Yep.
Saw the professional gamble. He had the same couple teams he was owning against. And when you watch that team, then you learn something about the team they play.
Yep.
So you can piggyback off that. You may learn more about the team you're against.
I did that. I got a story that we're just going to tell.
Yeah.
But I was, I was probably, 28 years old. And we had a huge play. And I know you're probably going to remember this. On Nevada. They were playing Utah State.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so we watched the game. And I'm looking at Utah State, and I wish I could remember some of the players. Yeah. But Utah State won the game. We had Nevada, and they were so fast and so good. Because I never would have watched Utah State or Nevada, but I was like, man, they had a great quarterback. So then I'm like, okay, just like you're talking about piggybacking, and we're trying to help. So I was like, man, this team is good. And they had a good defense. And then I go look at their schedule. And I see they're going to play Louisiana Tech in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember this.
And I was like, Louisiana Tech had the worst defense ever.
Yeah. Which you had seen them play Mississippi State opening game, I think, that year. So you saw them play.
Saw them play. There was something along those lines. I seen them play, and I saw how bad their defense was.
Yeah.
And I was like, Utah State's going to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget, bankroll had about $10,000 cash. And I was like, for my gambling bankroll, I was like, I told Dad, I said, I'm getting a plane. I'm going to Las Vegas, and I'm putting it all on Utah State. They were playing in 2 weeks. And I kept wondering what the line was going to be. And now Louisiana Tech wasn't too bad, but
they've been pretty good right there.
Anyway, the line came out, and Utah State was -3.
Yeah.
So I go out of Little Rock because they had a direct flight.
Direct flight, yeah.
And Memphis at the time, they go back and forth with their direct flights.
Yeah.
They used to have Delta at 8:00. It's the best nonstop ever. They got rid of it. But anyway, so I find it at Little Rock. I drive over to Little Rock. I book my flight. I fly out to the Bellagio. Utah State -3. Walk up there, put $10,000 on Utah State -3. I start looking for the game. They're like, we don't have it. I was like, what? I called Dad.
Can't even watch it.
Can't even watch it. Now this is a while back now. Now you can watch any game, but this is I'm 40 now.
There's no network covering that game.
12, 13 years ago. And so I remember I called Dad. I was like, Dad, I can't get the game.
Yeah.
And he was able to get it.
Yes.
And I can't remember.
Didn't they get way up?
They were up.
And then
35 to nothing.
Oh, God, I remember this.
Utah State comes out, blows them out. I'm talking about crazy. I think I'm going to have to go back and look at this.
Yeah.
But I think it was almost got to 42 to nothing. It was crazy. Dad's like, man, you were all over this, and it goes,
hold on.
It gets to halftime, and I think they were, up like 30 something. I was like, man, I might need to middle this, but I didn't put the whole wide on.
Didn't have anything left.
But I could have called one of y'all or something and got went for a middle. But I was like, man, this was easy. This was right.
Yeah,
dude. They come all the way back.
Yes,
and go into overtime.
Yes. Oh,
and I'm on the phone getting play-by-play from Dad. And Utah State wins by 7 in overtime, dude. I forget. I was like, went crazy. Got my money. Got on the
red eye.
Flew home. Boom. But that was all. Hey, we wanted to give a little story because we like to do that. But that was because of a piggyback.
Yeah.
It was a piggyback. And I was right. Now, but that's, of course, it's gambling. stuff like that. I could have lost that, no doubt. But when you're
never easy on the big bet.
It's never easy when you do something like
grind.
that. And I guess it's just the gambling gods just going to we're not going to give it to you.
But like you said, the way you get your group of teams is you don't search. Watch the teams you like. Watch the games that are on that you're enjoying, and take some time. That's why you don't want to bet a lot early in the year.
Yeah.
We always keep our card lighter. I mean, we bet.
Yeah.
But we're always building to like that third or fourth week before we really start dropping the hammer on somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe week 2 you may see one, you're like, oh, next week I like that.
Yeah. Well, it's good to look if you get on a team and you know a lot about them, and you look at their schedule ahead, and then you're like, okay, and this other team, so you build the line in your head first.
Yes.
And everything. Make sure no
critical.
injuries. And you get your matchup. Hey, it's what's the difference? If you're going to put it on a stock or you want to go put it on this,
Exactly.
whatever. You don't risk more than you want. Have your gambling bankroll that you can risk.
Yeah.
Don't mix it with other money and build it. That's how you do it. And so that's just kind of a little bit of advice, especially off these piggybacks and watching. And it's hard now because we're not able to watch them as much as we used to. We got, you got 4 kids, I got 2 kids, so you're not able to watch them as much. So you try during your spare time to maybe watch or pick up. But I mean, when you really get in the groove, and that's why when we got other people too that we listen to.
Yeah, and you got all the apps now. We know what stats to look at and how to basically see what happened in a game without watching it. Which that's hard to teach. That's experience, and you got to just know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why you should just probably take our plays and not try to figure it out yourself.
That's right. I mean, we got a lot of
we do it as a hobby. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit on Action App when I, and I'm gonna look at the, matchups and trends, and that's all the other factors you have to have, which comes with experience.
That's right.
The trends, situations, what happened the week before, where they like to trick you, how they like to trick you, because what people have to understand with betting. Okay, obviously professional lines are perfect.
Yep.
There's no mistakes. There's not a lot of teams. They know everything. Injuries, you have to report it. There's no secrets. Now, college is different. It's how do I get 50-50 action? Obviously, they still want 50-50 action in pro, but they aren't afraid of any action on anything.
Because anything can happen.
If somebody chunks a large amount on an NFL game, they're not going to be as inclined to move the line as quick. College, it's like big bet line moves, line moves. It just goes with the money. They don't care. They put a number. They want it 50-50, and that's what they're going to do. The money comes in, they move the line till it gets back to the 50-50 number. Mm-hmm. Every now they get themselves stuck where they're heavy on one side or the other, but their goal putting out a line is to get equal action, not to put the correct line for the game.
Yeah.
So in college, you can find bad numbers, especially early in the year. You remember the best pick service ever was
right angle,
and they quit after week 6 or 8 as soon as college basketball started.
They moved the line into so fast.
Yes. But they knew the bad numbers.
Yeah. And there's a lot of totals, when you're looking at them. It's just a lot of math and stuff. But it was first 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. If that was it. That was their service, first 6 weeks. And then they still going. Yeah. And but I mean, it's so hard to play their plays, which they have a system, and you got to be ready, and they put it out. And if you don't put that bet in when they put it out, it's going to move 2-3 points.
Yeah, that's why.
Just like that.
That's why you can't follow a pick service.
Yeah,
we've learned that the hard way our whole life. You're chasing numbers. Yeah, they're great plays. They're sending you all this stuff. That's why we talk about the money. You can't money manage.
Yeah, you
don't have enough credits. You don't get the right play. You don't get the number they get.
You got to have robots, and that's robots in betting it's just a software program,
mm-hmm.
and all that program does is it puts the bet in. If you had multiple accounts or account, you already have the number in there, what you want, and as soon as that line comes out, all you got to do is press, boom, enter, and it places it.
Yeah.
Instead of having to go through the whole process. So, boom, you're getting it. You're getting whatever that line came out, boom, you got it right away, which, of course, you can't do. You can't do. I've been there. I've done it with people, and they're not going to let you. No. You know, it's just like counting cards and blackjack. I mean, I mean, I guess I don't see how you can say it's cheating because you're still making a bet, and I don't see how you're saying it's cheating counting cards and blackjack. It's not. You're just smart.
Yeah.
You know, but they're not going to let you do it.
Exactly.
You know,
they want the advantage. If you win long enough against anybody taking bets, they're not going to let you bet.
No. Anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
So that's why we don't play marked games.
Yeah.
Like, their games are marked now in their software. The casinos, everybody knows the games that are heavy, that have crazy amounts, that come in at weird times through all these softwares all over the world, and they're watching it like a hawk.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
They're on top of everything. But, you know.
But, I mean, I'm a numbers guy. The first thing I'm looking for on games is numbers that look weird. Like, I'll go ahead this week, my 2 picks. Okay.
All right.
I got Louisville is top 10 now, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Playing Miami. Miami's favored at home.
Yep.
You go look at all the stats. Miami's right there with them, ahead of them, every category. Players. I mean, they're green top 30 on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Louisville's got, like, sick defensive stats, right? Go look at who they've played. I went back and looked at their schedule. I'm like, I mean, anybody would have top 20 defense against this schedule. They've played nobody, man. Like, the Notre Dame win at home's their biggest win. Notre Dame's offense isn't that good. So Miami is in a prime spot. They're 6-4. Louisville's only lost a game. They're going down to Miami.
So you're going with Miami?
I'm going with Miami.
Okay, I thought you said Louisville.
I'm going with Miami at home. I think they're -0.5 now, -1. It's around to pick them.
Yeah.
I would just take the money line, probably -115 is what it'll be, -110. I just think they're
got
they're
some
better,
talent.
man. They got way more talent. You got top 10 teams catching points against an unranked team, 6-4.
Yeah.
So the numbers just blaring at you in the face right out the gate. But then you go look at the stats, and I was like, oh, okay.
They played Florida State pretty good. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah, they were right there, man. I mean, they've had a tough schedule.
Yeah.
Miami's played. They've beat some good teams. They've played a lot of good teams. They've had a few off weeks.
And it's at Miami.
At Miami.
I wonder if it's at night.
It is at. I think it's an afternoon game.
Man, that night.
No, it's an 11 a.m. game.
Oh, that ain't good for you. That's a deduction. It's a deduction in the line. If you got an 11 o'clock game, I promise you can. That's points for the away team. Yeah, it's points for the away team. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt. So that's a little, but it's
they're liable to be half empty.
Yeah,
down there.
So that probably takes away from the amount you.
I just feel like when you have a talented team that's kind of having a lackluster year, they want to style against a top 10 team. Mm-hmm. Like, they're going to show up to play against Louisville. They're not going to be like, oh, I don't want to be here today. They'll get embarrassed. Yeah. They're going to want to get up for that game. Like, I wouldn't take Miami in this spot. It's a spot. I like the spot. You can hear me say it all the time. Spot. My other game looks awful on paper. Like, there's no way that anybody in the world's taking them. And the number is too low, which is what draw my attention to it. But when I looked and thought back, I know Missouri. It's Missouri at home against Florida. I like Florida catching 11.5. Everybody's on Mizzou, but go look at the 3 teams they've played in a row. They've played I think they've played Georgia, Tennessee, and I just feel like they're going to have a little bit of a letdown. I mean, Florida just loses. They're getting embarrassed. I don't think Florida's going to lay down under that new coach because they're still trying to build something. Yeah. And they are not in a bowl yet. They're 5-5. And I just think it's one of those spots where Florida, you looked like they beat Tennessee earlier this year. Like, they've played a couple good teams pretty close. Like, they had Georgia giving them a game for a minute, midway through the third quarter. Now you got Missouri at home at night. Everybody's on them. Yeah, everybody's on them. And I'm just like, why is the line not more than 11.5 there? They could put it at 17, and they still going to get the same Missouri money as they would at 11.5. You're either taking them or you're not.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, Florida's awful. Missouri's kind of the darling SEC team this year, like Ole Miss was in a way. But I just think they're going to be beat up, man. We talked about, after you play Georgia, after you play Alabama, and then Tennessee, they had a grind. I mean, I just think that they beat them bad too. Mm-hmm. And so that's another thing I like is you're like, why is the line so low? Mm-hmm. And so I just think, I have a feeling Florida, and that history of that game is always real close. That used to be what's his name's game of the year every year. He was always on that Florida-Missouri game. Remember
Executive?
That? The
percentage guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember
Executive.
that?
Yeah.
Executive play. He always had that game.
Yeah, he won his game of the year this year.
Who was it?
Easy. I have to go back and look. But he had his game of the year 2 weeks ago, and it was an easy winner.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean.
So it ties in. Okay, so you're sitting on 14-2, 19-2. So this week you go in, you take 2 bets. You got one at 11 and one at night.
Yeah.
Odds are you're going 1-1. Let's just call it like it is. You're going to, you're always thinking you're going to go 50-50. But worst case scenario, your house money at night, or you go back to your 1-1. You're still carrying your momentum because the next week is when you got games galore coming. Like it is primo football week, NFL. We're going to have some NFL. We're going to do our Thanksgiving special day show that morning. We're going to get some NFL plays, some college plays for that weekend. But I just think keep the card light this week. Be careful.
Yeah.
Save your money for Thanksgiving week because you're going to need it.
We got basketball.
Yes.
Let's talk a little basketball. Let's get, going. We got, Coach Beer. We squeaked out one last night. Mm-hmm. Like I told you, I love all sports and love basketball, but you were a basketball guy. I mean, I've talked about Coach Beard, I just think he's a good guy, and I think he wants to be here. Like I said, he's a winner.
Yeah.
Now it's going to take time. I watched the first game, and what's number 11.
I haven't watched us yet, but I've been looking at the stats. I'm looking at our players, their numbers, the size, how many people we're playing, the depth of we're going into the roster. Obviously, we got the 7'5" guy in the middle, which is something we hadn't had, is that just huge guy lately.
Yeah.
But in the modern game, you got to shoot from the outside to have any chance.
Yep. I
noticed we're guard heavy, which is good. Our top 2 scorers are shooting good from, out. They weren't high percentage 3 in the first couple games, but they're, hitting 20 points a game. And it looks to me like it's kind of like the style Beard likes. He likes versatile players.
Yeah.
Big guards, versatile forwards who can play defense, guard multiple positions, who are gritty, like to play defense. Because he's a defensive guy now. Those Texas Tech teams he had were gritty.
Yeah.
So I feel like just looking at our roster, it matches his personality. I'm ready to go watch us play and see how we play with our guards, because we have a lot of guards in the lineup.
Me too.
I'm curious to see how we shoot the ball. We got to be able to shoot.
Into the, it starts so early to me. Mm-hmm. And we got so much going on with football and everything, which I think the students he has pushed really hard. He's got a lot of things going on with the students. Mm-hmm. They got the student section down. If you stay, they do a group picture after the game. He's got things going on with, if you got season tickets, you go check in before. And if you get to so many games, you get these gifts. Because he wants this crowd.
Yeah, dude. If you get that place full, it's going to be an advantage.
Yeah, and right now, what he did say, I know we play a lot of games, and I understand, and this time of year, but everybody that can go. I'm going to try and get to some games more than just the good ones,
Yeah.
And
well, I looked at our schedule. I mean, we can't afford to drop many games we're supposed to win.
No.
We don't have a super tough schedule outside the SEC. I did notice, too, we had like our last 4 games at home, 5 out of our last 7 games at home coming down the stretch, which is huge. If we're in position to have a chance to make the tournament, we're going to get all home games coming down the stretch.
Yeah.
But
and it's going to take time.
We need to not lose against teams we're supposed to beat early in the year, take advantage of that schedule so we build our wins up. And if we, go above 500 in the SEC, we should be able to get in the tournament.
These guys, it's just like in football, whatever, the more they get to playing with each other, the more games and learning his system, they're going to get better and better.
Yeah.
Better and better. And we don't know how good those other teams we played. Obviously, it's, no big schools, but I imagine.
But in basketball, you can never, it's 5-on-5. Man, those small schools got so many good players, man. Yeah. It's like golf. You don't ever know. You get a cohesive unit now with the way the transfer portal is. You got 5th, 6th-year seniors playing together. You see it every year in the tournament. All these no-names. Yeah. It's been ridiculous.
Yeah.
Those teams you see on play are like, Jesus Christ, how are they not ranked?
Yeah.
And they're good, Basketball is way harder to handicap than football. They don't – the scouting and, the systems aren't near as good.
Well, let's get out there. Everybody can get out and support Coach Beard and the basketball team, and because before we know it, football is going to be over and we're going to be right up. That's where we're going to be going. And it's fun. March Madness, man, tournament, that March Madness, it's fun. That's what we want to keep going. Fans, everything. So we got.
Yeah, you got 2-3 games a week, man. You can. Yeah, it's just right back at it.
We're going to get into betting basketball, but it's it'll be more when we kind of get back into it and start watching.
I love NBA. Yeah, but I do not rush to bet NBA. I'll wait to see all kinds of factors.
I'm not betting. If I bet NBA, it's going to be coming from you or some other, I'll get some really good information. And if I get it, I'll pass it along, you know. But I will, if I get to watching, when I get to watching Ole Miss, and that's where maybe a piggyback comes along because I'm watching Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And
that's all you need is one.
Yeah, that's it. Like I said, I'll wait for that right time. And but we'll get into that basketball. And then, before you know it, man, it's just how fast this stuff goes.
I know.
God. We're almost to Christmas.
I know, man. Thanksgiving's next week.
Yeah. It's just, man, time goes. The older you get, they're not lying, man.
No kidding.
A year's nothing. It is nothing. I know what all my old golf buddies, what they used to talk about, man. It flies by. And but we're going to have fun to the end.
Before I forget, go to hell LSU.
Had to throw that in there.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Trav. We had Trav.
Them Georgia fans looked at me like I was crazy. Every damn thing they were doing on Veterans Day, boy, I got them in there right at the end. They kept, what are you this guy talking about? I said, yeah, buddy.
Oh, man, I was just going to talk about Trav this morning. Before we got going, man, we had a little the Wee Wee's mic wouldn't work. You want to see a man in his job, and when he gets under pressure, Trav was sweating over there. I don't know what's wrong with his mic. He's switching out wires and everything.
Process of elimination.
It was. He said,
"I burned that cord up."
Yeah, Wee Wee burned his own cord up. If it's somebody can burn one up, it's Wee Wee.
There's all them F-bombs.
Yeah. Hey. Oh yeah, we're talking about my mama said, no more F-bombs, Wee Wee. No more. And so we're gonna do a little game.
Yes, this is a perfect bridge. To talk about the new apparel.
Yeah.
And give them the bet.
Okay. Yeah. But every F-bomb Wee Wee because he accidentally does it. I ain't gonna, not accidentally, he just does it. And I've told him, I'm fine with everything else and whatever. Some people are like, oh, well, he can say what he wants. Yeah. Well, my mama tells me to tell him no more F-bombs. I'm going to tell him no more F-bombs.
I'm sorry, Mr. Niece. I love you. And my mama, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and Miss T. But
even though my mama is a golfer and an athlete, so she's had a little bit of a potty mouth every now and then, too.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, shout out to my mom, the first ever woman to get a scholarship to play golf at Mississippi State.
I know, man.
People wonder where the athletic blood comes from. I always used to tell my dad, a scratch golfer, played Division I college golf. He's the third best player in his own house. Couldn't stand it.
I love it. I bet that got him. But anyway, so if Wee Wee drops an F-bomb, he has to give $100 to one of our charities. All right, I'm going to let Wee Wee explain what we're going to be doing with the charities. And all this is, so we'll get into, all right, so we got a new store, all right, and it's called Boyz in the Sip Store, all right. We were doing sip gear. We're kind of all over the place a little bit, trying to figure this out. Y'all bear with us. We're going to get this. We're going to get this down. So I told him, I said, we need to work everything through the Boyz in the Sip. And so we started. The first run we did was kind of like a pre-sale of, we put the merch out there, let y'all buy it, and then we go to try to make it. And I've done it this way times, and it's just, finally I told him, I was like, it just doesn't work good that way. People don't want to wait.
That's right.
I said, we know what people want, and I said, we have to make it, and then we put it on this new website. We have it in inventory. As soon as y'all order it, we'll have somebody packing, shipping within 1 to 3 days, and then it usually takes 1 to 2 days to get to you. So that's how we're going to start moving forward. And it's boysinthesipstore.com. And always remember, Boyz is with a Z, like Boys in the Hood, Boys in the Sip, Z. So that's kind of where we're moving towards. And I changed the Instagram that was sip_gear. I changed the name to Boyz in the Sip Store. So all the followers, see that. So what we're going to do with the merch, and we're going to have, I'm just going to let you take it over because you've been wanting to do this and talk about it and just explain what we're going to do with the charities.
Yes, this is important to us, and ties into what we talk about when we want to bring Mississippi together and how we want to help. So when we break out our new site and store, which is this week, what we're going to do is we're going to take our current charities, which we already love and work with, and we've picked some of our own that mean a lot to us, but we want our followers and listeners and everybody from Mississippi to send us direct messages on charities that mean stuff to you. Mississippi mainly, we want to help Mississippi, and tell us why and how they've impact your life, and so we can add them into our arsenal. And we're going to give a minimum of $1 off every piece of apparel we sell to certain charities that we choose from month to month, and we'll post who we're giving it to. We'll make shirts and merch with their logos for pre-sales or things that happen. I mean, we've had a lot of devastation lately, and we're going to help raise money for causes we care about.
Yeah.
So we want y'all to share with us what matters to y'all too, so we can add them in. And we're going to start divvying this up. And so every time you're buying stuff from us, you're giving back to Mississippi.
Yep.
And we're going to show where it goes and what we raise and how we do it. And we're going to start getting out at these events, and we're going to start helping people. And that's something, we want to let y'all know. And so but we also want y'all to give us y'all's charities, so we can add them to ours.
Yeah. Y'all message us on Instagram, Facebook. It's all Boyz in the Sip. It's easy to do. Give us your content. I mean, yes. I posted the guy dancing at the Georgia game.
Yeah.
And, party in the Sip. I mean, we're down 31. This guy's having a time, man.
Yeah, man.
He's got a dart, and he's just going at it. I posted it. Yeah. People loved it. Obviously, somebody must have known who it was from. So they sent it to him. He comments on it. Man, I was on one, and it got shared like I think it's shared 250 times now. But send us content. I videoed that one because he was down in front of me, and I was like, man, this guy's having a good time, But y'all send us content so we can post it. Doesn't matter what it is. We might post it, we might not. But again, where this is going, all right. I'm gonna post some of our other logos, but it's just like we want y'all message us. Somebody gonna run the hunting in the SIP. We need a good hunter that is in Mississippi that knows all about hunting and all of Mississippi, and that can do some good videos and get them sending, all the big deer that are killed in Mississippi. That's just an example, all right? Mm-hmm. And then, like we said, music in the SIP. Somebody that knows all these festivals, all the musicians in Mississippi. We want somebody running that account, building that account up for us. You will make money. We will give you commission on what you sell through your account. And, once we kind of get the game plan, there might be salary in there. Because like I said, we're growing.
Yeah.
But to start off, hey, all you got to do is go run the social media account and grow it. And if I sell merch through it, and like I said, we can put the merch out there for you. You give us, all that. Food in the SIP. Whatever. Somebody that goes around to all the different good restaurants, like Portnoy does the pizza, goes and does some tests at these restaurants. And, hey, cooks, put some recipes out there in the SIP. All that stuff. Then we'll, you can do all kind of stuff.
Head to Beechwood Steakhouse in Vicksburg, Mississippi. It's the best steak in Mississippi. My cousin Will Hood will take care of you.
I'll have to go try it. Because that's one thing I think, if I was going to do, Portnoy does pizza, I'm going to do steak.
I think it's
I'm
time,
going to do
Bozzy.
steak. I might do
going.
it. I might do it because I'm a ribeye man.
Yeah, why don't we just give them between now and the end of the year to send in the best?
Can we go?
The best list, and we'll
take
just
me
go
to
try
Shapley's tonight, and I'll start off at Shapley's. Be a pretty good one.
Oh, ain't no doubt,
Be a
baby.
pretty
I
good
need
one.
me some hot tamales and some French fries.
Oh man, first time I ever went there was with you and BJ, and we got a big old T-bone and some French fries, and they cut it up for you. Oh my
yes.
God, that was so good.
It is.
But I think that might be it. It might
Start
be
there.
little steak. Here we go. One bite. Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. We're going to have to finish ours.
Yeah. Well, he finishes his pizza. He just says one bite.
Yeah.
But that's where we're going. And I know we've talked about it before, but we're going we're going to keep talking about it because that's what we're going to do. And it's going to take time, but that's all. We got plenty of it.
No doubt.
We're going to grow it to something that we know we can. But anyway, we got Thanksgiving coming up, and we're gonna shoot a little live, not live, but Will's gonna be out of town and going to the beach.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be doing some hunting. Travis gonna be doing a little hunting, and so I think we're gonna try to do a little where we're all three in different spots next week.
That'll be fun.
And that's where we're at. We want everybody to,
we got to get them ready for that big week of sitting there eating and watching football and make sure that they don't lose too much money. Yeah.
We're going to try to get y'all some winners.
No doubt.
I'll have my prediction Friday for y'all. If I have one. I'm not saying I won't pass. It's okay to pass. I've looked and looked, but I'm sure there's something there. Or I might get some good information or something.
Yeah.
But
it's early in the week.
All right, SIP fans, look, everybody keep your head up. Let's
finish strong.
Let's finish strong and get us. Hey, we'll go have fun at a big ball game because we're going.
We going.
Get to fire the jet up.
Fired up, baby.
Fired up, and that's where that's where the crew's going.
Merry Christmas.
We had to
Happy
put
New
together
Year.
a little crew last time this past week because everybody couldn't go. Well, we put together a fun one.
Yeah.
We had a couple young boys with us.
We did good. Yeah.
And we had a good time. And all right, let's keep it going, SIP Nation. And I'm just gonna say it always. Boys in the SIP.
Always roar.
Always roar, baby. We out.